All right, what's up, everybody? Hey, in this video, we are going to talk to you about 5 really good, sneaky, under the radar moves that the Buffalo Bills made this offseason that's going to keep them in the elite status. These aren't the big name signings, these aren't the big stuff, but these are the small moves that keeps your team challenging for Super Bowls each and every year when you already have the foundation set. So we're going to talk about that. But first, if you are new to this channel, welcome. This isn't our first channel. We have a channel called Sports Talk Detroit, but we love the NFL and we love teams that kind of are in that mold of the Lions, which are these teams that aren't huge media market teams. So we're so happy you're here. We know the Bills get some attention in the national media because they're winning, but that's why. So we want to join the Bills Mafia in giving you some Bills content along with many other teams. But let's go with the 5 underrated moves. The first one is kind of small, but it's just really good GM stuff by Brandon Bean. And that is setting himself up next year with good draft capital. He made some moves to get a couple of extra second round or sixth round picks. And I think the big one is understanding what they lost in free agency versus what they gained. In other words, losing a 4-year, what was it, $72 million contract for Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears. They're going to get a third round compensatory pick. So they're going to have 3 extra picks next year. But the rest of these has to do with actual players that will be playing for the Bills this year. And the first one is bringing someone back. We're going to bring someone back. And then we have a couple of others that are new signees as well. And that is bringing back Matt Milano at linebacker. Here is a guy that has had 6 years in the league. He has proven to be a good coverage linebacker. He is a guy that doesn't have to come off the field in passing downs. In fact, he mostly gets on the field in passing downs. His bugaboo his entire life has been run defense. There's another move that they made that's going to help this out, and I can promise you that. Matt Milano with Bills fans is probably one of those guys that you love him and you hate him, but he does things well that are hard to see, like good coverage, but he struggles in the things that are easy to see, like missed tackles. So, Bills fans, this is good, bringing some of that veteran leadership back into the linebacker room. You want to have that. You want to have a guy that's there. You don't want to overhaul and overturn your entire linebacker room. This is a good under the radar signing for the Bills, or re-signing. All right, the next one is a re-sign. Then we have 2 new players coming for you. And I know you're going to be like, are you serious right now when I say this name? But under the radar, I'm telling you, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I'm going to spend the majority of my time because I think they get better as we go on. But they re-signed their punter, Sam Martin. I love Sam Martin. He punted for the Lions, and he was a really good punter for us. PFF had Sam Martin ranked as the 13th best punter by gross average last year. He has a pretty good leg on kickoffs. It's impressive that he's doing this while in the cold, right? Like, I think we have to understand that, all right, yeah, whatever, like, it's not great, but he was in Buffalo in the cold. It was his worst season in a few years because he was kicking in the elements, and somehow his yards per attempt ended up being, I think, the most he's ever had. So he did well there. He just needs to work at getting that ball down and inside the 20. Let's not talk more about punters, but hey, punters are people too, and they need love. So let's not just ignore Sam Martin. It's important to have a guy that you can rely on that can flip the field for you, and they have that. So now let's get to the good stuff. All right. The next thing we are looking at is the signing of safety free agent Taylor Rapp. This was a phenomenal move. I don't understand how they got him. So they got him on a 1-year, not even $2 million deal, $1.77 million. All right. They get him there on a 1-year deal. He's 25 years old. And he comes in, and I know what you're thinking. Like, all right, well, we got Micah Hyde. We got Poyer back there. Like, why do we need Taylor Rapp? Here's the funny thing. Like PFF, hate PFF. Do whatever you want with PFF. Okay? He is 6 and 7 years younger than those 2 guys, comparably. He overall is rated 10 points higher than both of them on PFF, and his run defense is significantly higher. At 6 foot, almost 210 pounds, he's one of those guys, and this is why I wanted to talk about it with Milano. On third downs, when it's a clear passing down, or even when it isn't a clear passing down, when it's hey, there might be a run, it might be a pass. You allow Milano to be on the field because he helps in your passing game. You bring Taylor Rapp into the box to help with your run support. This is a really smart signing. I think you will play more than you think. Also, Hyde, Poyer, there's been some injury things as of last year. So you have a guy that even if he's not starting right away, he is going to be there. And as a younger player, if Hyde and Poyer start to fall off or they have a fall off year, you could sign Rapp long term and allow him to be part of what your team is doing going forward. This is my favorite signing for the Bills. It just is. But there is another one as far as underrated ones goes. There is another one that I like quite a bit. And that is another signing, free agent signing, Brandon Shell, right tackle, left tackle, put him wherever you want. That's fine. But I think they signed him as insurance because you wonder what Spencer Brown's going to do. Spencer Brown was a third-round selection in 2021, 2 years ago. In 2022, he struggled mightily. And in 2021, he still struggled. Here's the thing, the big difference between Spencer Brown and Brandon Shell. Spencer Brown and Brandon Shell both had very poor pass blocking grades last year. Very poor. The difference is that Brandon Shell was actually a significantly better run blocker. So you're getting a guy who's better. He's a little bit longer in the tooth. He's 31 and a half years old. That's all right. The question is, you're basically saying what you're saying here is, all right, Spencer, earn your starting spot or you're gone. And I think the other thing you have to look at is you are protecting the franchise. All right. It's Josh Allen. You are protecting the franchise. We need you to be better pass blocking. And Brandon Shell, when you look at his statistics, when you look at his pass blocking, all right, last year he had a PFF pass blocking grade of 51.7. I'm not saying that that's good. Spencer Brown's was 51.6, so it's just slightly worse. But that was by far Shell's worst pass blocking grade. Previous years were 60.4, 80.3, 64.7, 70, 65, and 86. So he's a guy who has proven that he can do it. So here's what I'm saying. Bean had some smart moves. It's that simple. And I think these are the kind of moves where you bolster in on value contracts, you bolster in your roster where you may have either missed in the draft or you're getting a little longer in the tooth on your team. And he was able to find some really good value things, which is what good competing teams should be able to do. That's what they should be able to do because people want to play for Super Bowls. So anyways, good under the radar moves. If you haven't checked out our channel, do it. Hit the subscribe button below. We're going to have more content on a bunch of the smaller media market teams, Bills included, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.